Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for yesterday's Boxing Day much-needed 3 points in a 2-0 win against West London rivals Queens Park Rangers. It's our first win under Joe Edwards in SE16 and our first win at home since a 3-0 win over Rotherham way back on the 20th of September. As always, let's kick off the show by taking a look at the 11 that the gaffer picked to start the match. Okay, before I get into the team lineup, etc., apologies for the quality of today's video, the lighting in today's video. I drove straight from the den last night, or yesterday afternoon, it seemed like about midnight, straight down to my parents for a couple of days in Rye Harbour. So I'm doing the best I can with the tools I have, a little bit like Joe Edwards is currently. He rang the changes again yesterday. It was 4 changes. Murray Wallace, Billy Mitchell, Zian Fleming and Kevin Nisbet all dropped out. I've seen a lot of people saying online that we played 4-4-2 yesterday. And was this the formation or was the formation? We definitely didn't play 4-4-2. I'm not opposed to that, but we didn't play 4-4-2. This was the formation as far as I could see it. Sarkic in goal, 3 centre-backs, Jake Cooper captain, Ryan Leonard and Wes Harding in the centre of those 3. Brooke Norton-Cuffy, right wing-back, Joe Bryan, left wing-back. Surprise inclusion in the centre of midfield was George Honeyman alongside George Saville. And then it was a little bit Rower-esque. As far as I could see, it was 2 wide men, Watmore and Amaku behind Tom Bradshaw as a central striker. I would still like to see Amaku and Bradshaw be out-and-out strikers with Watmore behind them. Some really good performances yesterday across the pitch. I thought Harding was outstanding. Again, I liked Honeyman in alongside Saville. I thought Saville was excellent alongside Bradshaw and Maku as well. Man of the match. Watmore full of beans. The inclusion of Honeyman, it's a little bit like when I say Ryan Leonard should be in midfield. With Honeyman, I thought he was a central midfielder when we signed him, but you just thought with him playing out wide or occasionally in a 10, it's never going to happen, him being in the centre of midfield. But he actually put him there yesterday, and it's probably the best position for him because he's full of energy, he's full of beans, he gets stuck in, and he partnered and allowed George Saville to do his thing quite well. It does seem that Alan Campbell could potentially be leaving the club in January. He's not been included in the squad, and you'd think that by including Honeyman, the gaffer's not been overly impressed with Mitchell in there and anyone else. Casper Denor's injured, of course, but it definitely seems like he's trying to still find his right formation, his right combo there, and he may well have found it in the absence of Casper Denor. George Honeyman, who I thought did well, definitely the best type of position for him to play in, but I'm pretty sure that's the first time he's played. He's played right wing back for us. He's played on the left wing, on the right wing, and he's played in the 10, but I've never seen him play, as I said, in a central midfield role, which I believe is his actual position. Kevin Nisbet dropped out. I didn't watch the Stoke game. I'm hearing he didn't do too great, but look, I like Nisbet. We paid a lot of money for him. He is good in front of goal, but I'm sorry, and I know I'll get shit for this, for those saying that his hold-up play is better than Bradshaw's. You're on another planet, because Bradshaw, again, showed yesterday, yes, he's 31, yes, he's not going to be around forever, but he created, made, and finished the first goal all by himself, so really, really pleased for him. I think that's 2 goals now in his last 2 starts. Yeah, he scored yesterday on a start. He scored against Leicester when he started. And was it only Stoke in between? I don't know. It's all getting sort of jumbled into one. So changes rung out again. Didn't have a problem with that. He's still trying to find his best formation, I think, and his best players. But by the time I think he has found that, it's going to be January transfer window time, and he could have to restart that process all over again. I'm going to link in as well before I get into the game. My dad actually found it last night. He said, have you seen these interviews with the manager? It's on a YouTube channel called, I think it's called Capital something. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put in the link anyway at the end. And it's quite an extensive chat with Joe over 4 parts and the Queens Park Rangers manager. And one thing that Edwards has said, which I've picked up on people saying, well, what differences can you see? Because it looks quite Rower-esque still. It looks like we haven't really changed a lot. We know his hands are tied by the players that he's got, but the play, has it changed too much? Well, look, I know it's not been pretty. Definitely yesterday was no El Clasico, that's for sure. But look, 4 points from the last 2 games, 2 clean sheets on the bounce, as Edwards says in these adverts, and as he said on Millwall TV. Sarkic has not really had a save to make. So yes, the level of opposition hasn't been fantastic, but you can only beat what's put in front of you. And unfortunately, I don't really want to say it, but I feel that it's going to be sort of par for the course this season. there are going to be worse teams than us in this league, and that's all that really matters, in my opinion. We're going to come up against Norwich on Friday night, and again, I think we could struggle, but I don't think we should get too carried away with it. If we do, I just think get it over the line this year, and make sure we stay in this division, and then we'll go from there in the summer. The interviews as well, by the way, with Joe Edwards. There's also some with Martin Fuentes, is his name, the QPR manager. I could have got that wrong, but he said in his post-match interviews that it was the worst performance he's seen under his QPR reign, and he said that he didn't feel that his team was brave enough. So getting into the game, that leads me nicely onto it. I mean, QPR had so much of the ball, playing from the back. Asmir Bergovic in goal, a veteran goalkeeper. He must have had 60, 70 touches in the first half. And I'm all for this, popping the ball and playing out from the back. But when you're in the relegation zone in the Championship, I think you might have to sort of look at where you are and what you need to do and what you need to get out of the remaining games left. Play by all means, but they was just going around in circles with it. We was pressing high, had a nice shape. And despite them having a ridiculous amount of possession in the first half, again, I don't think Sarkic hardly touched the ball. It wasn't, as I said, a classic by any means, but at this stage of the season in a game of that magnitude, I've never said magnitude in my life, but I've said it. And what was at stake also, it being a London derby and the fact that we haven't won since September at home, I think it was just pivotal that we got it over the line. It didn't really matter how we got it over the line. But eventually, look, as I said, it wasn't a great performance, but I felt it was a lot more disciplined. And I felt that it was a lot more Millwall-esque, if you like, managed the game out a lot better. But look, first half, not amazing. Few nice patches of play. Again, we're trying to get these long balls into the box from long diags for Cooper to get the flick-ons, etc. And I don't have a problem with that because until he can change the personnel in the team, we're still trying to sort of rely on set pieces and corners to get us the goals. But they sort of dried up again a little bit. But look, the first goal, a really good goal. What a time to get it as well. We scored 2 goals in the game, one in injury time at the end of the first half and one in injury time at the end of the second half. And it's a clearance upfield from Leonard. Tom Bradshaw under pressure, brings it down, lays off Watmore. Watmore takes over. And he drives through, lays in George Saville. George Saville breaks into the box. And I always say, don't give Bradshaw balls up, neck high, back to goal. He wants balls in across the penalty area, especially along the floor. And from where we were sitting, we saw it from behind Bradshaw. So it looked like it was a bit of a shot that had been missed it, possibly deflected and found its way to Bradshaw. When you watch it back, it's actually a brilliant 4-man move and a goal. Bradshaw to Watmore, Watmore to Saville. And Saville's ball is so composed, he's so on the money, he don't thrash it. He looks up and he actually puts it in between 3 or 4 QPR defenders. And Bradshaw does what he does best. He's a poacher in the box, gets in the right positions. And if you feed him, he will score, celebrates right in front of us. And that just, I think that gave us the half-time interval with a buzz around it in the box, especially where I was sitting. People were excited. I think it could have been a little bit of a, oh, fuck's sake, here we go again, sort of, if that hadn't have gone in. But never a bad time to score in a football match, but those goals right on half-time can sort of change the outlook for the second half. It can change the confidence levels. It can also completely fuck up the QPR manager's team talk because he's prepared to say one thing and now everything's changed because they're chasing the game and they're no longer on level terms. But look, I'm going to say again before I get any further, because I'm not sure if I just said it or not, and I'm recording, obviously. Joe Edwards said, and it's a big difference that I've seen, that we're a lot braver going forward. And I've noticed this before, I've said it in previous videos, Harding is getting the ball at the back. I thought he was excellent yesterday, especially when he sort of took on 3 players. Bit risky, but definitely got it right and got away with it. But him and Leonard now are travelling. They're getting the ball and they're travelling 10, 15 yards. They're getting up the pitch. And one thing I can definitely say as seems to have vanished since Rowett was in charge was this massive disjointment. It's gone there. And what Edwards said yesterday was, with the energy of Watmore and Honeyman pushing on and buzzing up the field, that left Leonard, Cooper and Harding a little bit at risk with that gap in between them. But what they did, they was brave themselves and they pushed up. They was travelling with the ball out of defence and we definitely a lot higher up the pitch. And it really, really worked. The second half, you'd like to see us come out. You'd like to see us kill the game off. We didn't do that. Again, you're getting shouts of people, we're sitting too deep, we're sitting too deep. And after Idemaya Mako again got man of the match yesterday, he went on a really, really good run. He was sort of turning them over from the front, something we saw Fleming doing quite a lot last year. No right to get the ball where he's got it. QPR on the ball, they're looking to do things with it, and the Mako just comes from nowhere, strong, insistent, robs them, pushes them off the ball, and then sort of creates something. He puts one to Begovic's near post, who gets a good save on it. And then I think Zian Fleming come on, done all right when he came on, and nearly scores a great 25-yarder. Other than that, we did sort of retract a little bit in the second half. I do feel as well, one, not criticism, it's more of just observing it. We definitely seem like we could be, I'm not one to talk, but the players fitter. They do seem to lose a little bit of legs. I'm not sure whether it's because we try and be very intense in the opening exchanges before sometimes that atmosphere and their levels drop, but we definitely don't look that fit. And we could be fitter, in my opinion. So get them running, definitely to get that turkey off as well over Christmas. But yeah, we nearly created ourselves problems again yesterday. Masters of our own downfall. We give the ball away a couple of times in really dangerous positions. I think Wes Harding done it once. QPR nearly got in. It was 2 or 3 times, and you felt the tetchiness, you felt the edginess coming in around the ground, especially when 10 minutes injury time goes up. But we end up coming forward a little bit more. Lots of changes made. Lots of light-for-light changes as well. And I think that proves what I've just said about fitness levels. You know, he's not changing formations. He's not defending a lead, even though we're 1-0 up, or he's not pushing for more goals. He's just gone like for like all round the pitch. Just does seem like legs are still potentially a little bit of a problem. But look, we get the second goal. 10 minutes injury time went up. I didn't even see the ball go up, but I'm hearing that was because we actually scored as it went up. Corner comes in. Joe Bryan, Murray Wallace not in the team now because Joe Bryan's back in. Murray Wallace actually has set up a couple of goals lately, and I feel he's done all right, but Joe Bryan absolutely has to play if he's fit. And the corner goes all the way over. Murray Wallace just strong, just too strong. Begovic, again, if that's my goalkeeper, I'm asking questions, gets a little flap on it. Murray Wallace guides it into the roof of the net, and we get our first win since September in SE16. I bet Mr. Byford now had to dust off the old rocking all over the world before he could play it, because a long time since we've heard that. And we actually, after that, see the game out comfortably. You know, QPR, not a great side, yes, but us, I felt, although, again, we wasn't massively in possession a lot of the game, and although it wasn't brilliant 3-4 man moves put together, there was bodies on the line, there was togetherness, there was game management, a little bit of professionalism. I don't think we looked like conceding really at any point in that game, other than a couple of near misses, like I said, in the second half. Going through the team, Sarkic didn't have a thing to do. Norton Cuffy just improves with every game. Joe Bryan, if he could stay fit, probably will be playing at a better club than us. Potentially, maybe still a better division. Maybe he's aging a little bit. Cooper, Harding and Leonard, all 3 of them done well, but I thought Harding was a standout there, yeah, for me yesterday. Central midfield, Honeyman, good. Saville, even better. I thought Saville was absolutely superb yesterday, and he was a little bit of a leader on the pitch when we needed him to be. And then Watmore and Amaku, both brilliant, both full of energy, both full of beans. We need them in and around it. And Tom Bradshaw up front, as I said, really, really good. Scores his goal again, and I'm pretty sure he'll keep his place when we face Norwich at the Den on Friday, along with probably the rest of them. There's an argument there to go with an unchanged side. I think that's exactly what we'll do. 4 points from 2 games, like I've said, and back-to-back clean sheets. Caesar's pulling away a little bit now from that relegation zone, but it's a long way to go. And we're starting to claw other teams back in now, but Friday's going to be very difficult. Norwich lost, yes, yesterday to West Brom, but before that, they was on a little bit of an unbeaten run and improving themselves. So we never really did well against them at the Den. Can't remember the last time. 4-0 beat them years ago, didn't we? Early on in the season, just after we got promoted. I think Saville got 1, Gregory got a couple. So it's been a while. It would be nice to turn them over at the Den, but that's another video for tomorrow. I'll be home tomorrow, and I will bring you that preview there and then. So that's your lot for this post-match analysis. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just before I go, I will say it was definitely not a sellout yesterday. The club tabled it as a sellout. Okay, maybe it was season ticket holders that didn't turn up, but there was loads of empty seats, so not sure what happened there. The atmosphere got really good at one point, actually, in the second half, when we was going toe-to-toe, and they thought they was going to come back into it a little bit, but they didn't. We got the job done, and it's something to build on now. Small steps. Believe in Joe Edwards. Trust the process. There you go. I even said it, as much as I fucking hate that term. I'll see you tomorrow for a Norwich preview. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.